My dice were on fire tonight. Somebody even accused me of using loaded dice. Can you believe that? I don't think they're loaded, but yeah.
Now there's some loaded ones in there.
But why did you do that?
Science! Just kidding. I know what they look like. I can take them out.
No. I'm going to find them myself. With science! So this is going to be really easy. All I need to do is take these dice and roll them and see which ones come up 6. Okay, so since these didn't roll 6, we know that these aren't loaded. And all we need to do is test the ones that came up 6 a little more. So that's 30 6s. Now, any die could come up 6 once, but we're looking for loaded dice. So we want to see if it comes up 6 again. So there we have a 6, and there we have a 6. So each of these has already rolled 2 6s in a row. If they roll a 6 again, that'll be 3 6s in a row. There we go. That's our loaded die. I found it! I found the loaded die! I found it! I found the loaded die!
So that's the loaded die?
Yep, it rolled 3 6s in a row. None of the other ones did.
What'll happen if you roll it again?
It'll get another 6. Maybe.
Why don't you try it?
I can. Five.
That's not a 6.
But it rolled 3 6s before.
What's the probability of a die rolling a 6?
1 in 6.
What about 2 6s?
6 times 6 is 36, so 1 in 36.
3 6s?
36 times 6, 180, 201 in 216.
Right. So what's the probability we had about 200 dice that at least one of those dice would roll 3 6s in a row?
1 minus 1 over 256.
It's pretty good, actually. It's about 60%. Rolling 3 6s in a row is rare, but if you're rolling enough dice, it'll probably happen. That's called the law of truly large numbers. If you have a large enough sample size, even a rare event is likely to happen. But you didn't find the loaded dice.
But why not?
Well, for one thing, you misidentified this die because you didn't roll it enough to make sure you were right.
Okay, so roll it more. And second thing?
Well, take a look at this die.
It has a lot of 5s.
It's all 5s, actually. Is that die loaded?
Yeah, it's always going to roll 5.
But your test never would have caught it because you were testing for the wrong thing.
Oh, yeah. Instead of checking to see if it always rolled 6, I should have been testing to see if it rolled all 5s.
Not exactly. A loaded die is just a die that has one side come up more often. It doesn't always have to be 6 or 5, and it's not always the same thing.
Okay, I got it. Roll it more, check all the sides. Okay, could you move, please? I need this table for science! 1. Pretty random. 1. 6. Yeah, this one's rolling pretty high. It didn't roll any 2s or 3s, I don't think, and it rolled a whole bunch of 6s. 5. Oh, that's another good one. That one rolls high. 5. 1. 4. 1. Yeah. I found them! There are 4 loaded dice. I did it! I found the loaded dice. For real this time.
What did you do?
I rolled them a bunch of times, and then if they did anything weird, I pulled them out and put them here.
How many times did you roll them?
A bunch.
What's weird?
Well, if they rolled high numbers, or low numbers, or in between numbers. Or
So if somebody wanted to repeat your experiment to verify your results, how would they tell if a die was weird?
well, they would roll it a bunch of times and then see if it was weird, I guess.
So you don't know exactly what you were looking for, and you don't know exactly how you did your experiment, and you didn't find a loaded dice. So
What?
something didn't work.
So what do I need to do to find the loaded dice?
You need to write down ahead of time exactly what you're going to do and exactly what you're going to test for. And when you do the experiment, write down your results as you go.
Okay, so I roll 7 times,
Okay?
and then I see if it's weird.
You got to be more specific than that.
See if it's not random.
You know, people actually aren't very good at telling how random things are. We tend to see patterns everywhere, even when there aren't any. Let's use math instead.
Math.
How about a chi-squared test?
Chi-square tests.
Close enough. What do you want your confidence interval to be?
95%. Sounds very scientific.
Okay. The 95% confidence interval, about 200 dice, you'll probably get about 10 false positives.
10? I don't want any false positives. 100%.
Think about it this way. If I had a fair die, could I roll 10 fives in a row?
Yeah.
What about 1,000,000 fives?
Yeah.
Is there some number of fives that would be impossible on a fair die?
No.
So there's always a possibility that no matter what you get, the die is still fair, that it's still random chance. So you can never be 100% sure.
99%. That sounds scientific too.
It's pretty good.
So what about false negatives? I want to find all of them.
Okay, well, false negatives are a little harder. The amount of false negatives has to do with how loaded the die actually is. And since we don't really know that, the best way to lower the number of false negatives is to have a lot of trials, to roll it a lot. 7 is definitely too low. I would recommend something more like 200.
Roll 200 times.
All right, now you know what you're doing, and you know what you're looking for. This book here has the instructions on the chi-square test. I'll leave you to your science.
Yes. I did it. I am 99% certain that I have found the loaded dice. 2 of these should be loaded, and 2 of these should be false positives.
Actually, these 3 are all loaded dice that I put in there. That one's probably a false positive, though.
You said there would be 2. Where's the other false positive?
That's just an average number. Looks like you just got 1 this time. But you did find all the loaded dice.
Yeah, I see what you meant with patterns. There were lots of ones that I thought looked high or looked low, but when I plugged into the numbers, they weren't really that far off.
That's why we have the scientific method. One of the purposes of the scientific method, the reason we do all this preparation in math, is to avoid fooling ourselves. And since you wrote everything down, somebody else could come along and repeat your experiment to verify your results.
Or double check my experimental protocol to make sure it's scientific.
That's a good idea too. Sometimes it's easier to see other people's problems than your own.
And now, I'm very confident that these aren't loaded. And that's good, because I've got another game coming up. Thanks for the science.
See you next time.